Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
Welcome to the Enter The Fangirls podcast. I'm Sam.
I'm Lexie, and we're two girls with a slight obsession of everything pop culture.
Today we're going to be talking about And Just Like That. I think actually this was our first episode. It was our first episode, talking about the first two episodes that released.
Wait, that's crazy. We've been doing this for 2 months now.
Right? Yeah. Actually, on the 12th, it'll be 2 months. It's kind of crazy.
That's actually insane.
Yeah. I mean, thank you guys for the support.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah, we're going to be talking about And Just Like That, because the season is over now, and we have thoughts.
Yeah.
A lot. Some
good, some bad. Some ugly.
I guess we just jump into it, really.
Yeah.
Spoilers if you haven't seen the season.
Yes.
I don't know why you'd be watching this if you haven't, but
yeah.
Yeah. We don't even have a structure for it either. We're just kind of talk about it as a whole.
I feel like just like a breakdown of each character.
Yeah. The things we liked, the things we didn't like.
Yeah.
We'll also talk a bit about whether we think season 2 is necessary, if we want one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be good.
Should we start with the new characters first?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think we're missing any. I think we got them all written down.
Well, at least the main ones.
The main ones that we actually see the most. Do you want to go character by character? Do you want me to read them off first?
We can go character by character.
Okay. So, first character and arguably the most, prominent is Che Diaz. Che is very divisive, I feel like. I think you either love them or you hate them.
Yes. I've seen a lot on Twitter that go either way, maybe a little bit one way more than the other.
What boat are you in? Are you in, the dislike or?
So, in the beginning, I really liked Che.
Yeah.
And then throughout the season, it just started to get less and less, which I'm kind of sad about. In the beginning, I really liked their vibe, felt like they were very vibrant, very social, and then maybe a little too vibrant and too out there.
Yeah.
Which I really hate to say that because I felt like having a non-binary queer character would be great. Yeah, especially important because we know how whitewashed Sex and the City was in the 90s and but then again that was the 90s, early 2000s where everything was whitewashed.
Unfortunately, nothing really had much diversity.
Yeah. So, I mean, was really excited for Che. And I just
I like Che. I think I stayed. I'm with you. I liked them a lot more in the beginning.
Yeah.
And slowly less throughout, but I still think I stayed neutral. I don't think I ever really disliked them, which I feel like is a very unpopular opinion. I feel like a lot of people don't like them.
It was more the past 2 episodes where I noticed more people tweeting. Alex Zalbin, he always is Alex is always joking on Twitter, so can't really take him seriously. But then Che was trending on Twitter this past week, and I was like, oh, people really don't like them.
Yeah. I think there was so much room to do something really amazing with the character of Che, especially with Rock. I think
yes.
Che could have been an amazing role model for Rock. That's a tongue twister. I wish that Che had become a friend of Charlotte.
Yes.
And I think that would have really helped Charlotte quicker become accepting of Rock. Mm-hmm. Because if you didn't know Rock, who is Charlotte and Harry's second child that is born in the first movie.
Yes, second.
I'm all jumbled with my timeline here. There's like movies, there's an original series, there's this.
So much.
But yeah, so Rock is the second child of Charlotte and Harry, and in this series, they come out as, I think they just come out as non-binary. I don't think they come out as like queer, gay or anything like that.
I think it's just non-binary.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously this is all new to Charlotte and Harry, so Charlotte didn't take it great.
Especially just Charlotte takes everything bad.
Yeah, but I don't think she took it as bad as I was expecting her to.
Yeah, Charlotte is a very, like...
She's very prudish.
Prudish, tunnel vision, is that the right word?
Yeah, like, I would say so.
Just,
I think everything to her is very black and white.
The 1950s perfect American
like a housewife?
family. Yes,
yeah.
Like a housewife with the 2 kids, working husband, and that's not Charlotte's family anymore.
No. I think Rock coming out as non-binary kind of took Charlotte's world and turned it upside down.
Absolutely.
And of course, she still loves Rock.
Yeah.
But I think that was such a culture shock for her because of how she was raised, obviously.
Yes.
I don't want this to come off the wrong way. I don't think Charlotte was always the most accepting or progressive in that sense.
No.
Obviously, she had Anthony.
Yeah, but even in
that was
the original
very,
series.
I think that was very, like, a very, in thing to do was have a gay best friend.
Definitely.
Charlotte Carrie had a gay best friend.
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of like a thing. But, like, non-binary is new to everyone in the show, to literally every character. So I think that was big for Charlotte, and I think if Shay had befriended Charlotte, I don't know how they would have became friends, but I think
Charlotte listened to the podcast, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so I don't know why. I think that just would have worked a lot better.
Absolutely.
And like, I don't know. We'll get to Miranda being bisexual. Is she bisexual now?
I don't even know what she is.
I don't know. But we'll get there. But I definitely think Che didn't need to be a love interest to be an important part of the show.
No.
And I think they would have been a lot less irritating to some if they weren't a love interest. And I think they could have been a very important character, not as an love interest. I would love to see a Rock and Che relationship. I think that would have been
that would be cute.
Great.
I mean, I don't hate Che as a love interest, but maybe just not like... I mean, she didn't really label her Miranda, but like Miranda kind of labeled it for us, even though Che wasn't thinking that. But even in the last episode, it was kind of labeled. Like, how do you ask the girl you're fucking to move with you to LA and not put a label on it?
And that's the other thing. Like, Che never made... Like, Che even said, she's like, I can't make any promises. Like, this is not going to be a real thing. And then the next episode, they're a real thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just very all over the place.
Definitely. But yeah, I have thoughts on Che and Miranda.
Which may move us into our next one.
Yes.
Naya Wallace, Miranda's professor. So
the other new character in Miranda's life is Professor Naya Wallace.
Yes.
So if you don't know, Miranda quit her corporate law job and went back to school at Columbia.
Which
and
I love.
I love
like that. Yeah.
Once again, I'll get into more
I think one
Miranda's
of our predictions
character.
was that we thought Miranda was going to be a boss-ass bitch.
Oh, I expected her to be a boss-ass bitch, head of her own law firm, and that's not what I got. Once again, I will discuss that later.
I wrote an article on the things I want for And Just Like That, and that was my main thing about Miranda, and yeah. We'll get there. We will talk about, I think we'll talk about each of, like, the main OGs separately for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But BuzzFeed came out with an article that Naya was originally supposed to be Miranda's love interest, and if you've seen the last episode, sparks were flying. Flying.
I wanted it.
Even in the trailer, too, people were like, this is it.
Everyone thought she was going to be Miranda's love interest.
I really thought she was going to be, and it was not the case. I liked Naya.
Like, I just feel like you get those vibes immediately.
Yeah.
Che, you don't really get those vibes immediately. Maybe you do. I don't really remember. But I think just with, like, Naya, like, you had, like, the whole, like, meet cute. I don't like that phrase, but, like, the whole they meet at class and Miranda, like, makes, like, a whole fool of herself, and then they have, like, a moment in the train station, and I like that.
Yeah.
I want that. I also like Naya.
No, I do too.
I think she's, like, a very well-liked character.
Yes, absolutely.
I haven't seen anything bad about her.
I wish she had a little bit more of her own, not involving her husband storyline.
Again, she had a date at Miranda.
That's true.
Also, I think maybe I missed this. Wasn't she just supposed to kind of, like, become Miranda's friend, educate her on, like Black Lives Matter and all that? Like, wasn't she supposed to do that? And then it just kind of, like, dropped the ball. This was after the train station scene. I think they just kind of, like, forgot that, and Naya just kind of, like, faded out.
I'm trying to think. I remember the farmer's market where her and Miranda meet up, and I feel like that's, like, when the whole teacher-student boundary kind of got dropped a little bit, and they became, like, actual friends.
I wanted to see more of them as friends. Like, I know we saw it, but I feel like it was just, like, a brief, like, moment all the time, rather than, like, I don't know. I don't think we saw enough of anybody's friendships besides, obviously, the main three. But if you're going to give them more friends, because they didn't have any other friends besides Anthony and Stanford, rest in peace. They didn't really have any other friends other than them in the original series. Yeah. So if you're going to introduce new ones, you gotta keep up with it.
I feel like the only one that really had the friendship was Carrie and
Seema.
Thank you. I always want to say Selma.
I know, me too.
But it was Naya's storyline. It could have been very important if they went with Naya and Miranda getting together.
Yeah. I also think if they had gotten to season 2 and they did it in season 2, it would have mattered more to me.
Yes.
We don't know enough about Naya. We don't have enough of an emotional, like, feeling towards her for them to give us such a heavy and important storyline.
I have an emotional connection to her now. I hope she dumps her husband just because.
Well, yeah, but I think, like, when they first introduced that, it's just like, hey, this is not, like, this feels kind of out of place. It feels like a whole other show, really.
Yeah. Because we just.
And like you said, it would have made way more sense if it was with Miranda and she's like, okay, like, my husband wants to have a baby, I'm in love with you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Again, it almost makes me wonder if the writers, like, had her with Naya and then just immediately scrapped it and was like, no, let's go to Che instead, and then had all this build up and then just had to write it out.
This is why I need the season 2, and I will talk about that more later.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we didn't mention this, so Naya's husband, I forgot his name. I
didn't care to learn his name.
He was cute, though. I will give him
He was cute. He was very cute.
Naya's husband wants to have a child, and Naya did at some point, but they do have trouble getting pregnant.
Yeah.
And they tried fertility. They've tried IBS. Is that fertility?
IVF.
Thank you. I'm not brushed up to any of this. But at some point along the way, I think Naya realizes that she's no longer in the place where she wants to have children.
Yeah.
And her husband's kind of forcing that on her because he wants to be a father, but obviously, like, he can be a father, he can adopt, like, but why are you going to force that on someone who doesn't want that?
And I think, like, after a certain point, she just kind of realized, like, this isn't going to happen for me, and maybe that's for the best. Maybe this isn't what I want. Maybe this doesn't suit my lifestyle, and I wouldn't be able to give the best life that this child would need.
Yeah, and even just with their lifestyles, too, because he's on tour now. He's a singer. So, like, how you're going to stick her with the child?
No,
like, that
baby would have been a roadie.
For real. So the season left off with him going on tour and Nia staying in New York, and they're going to try to take some time apart, not officially broken up. But doesn't Miranda ask like if they're done? But I think
so.
But I think Nia says, I think we're gonna see how we are apart rather than together.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hopefully if they come back for season 2, they end up apart. Sorry.
I want to see Miranda and Nia still.
So
Screw that. Make Carrie a lesbian.
No.
Did you know that originally Che was supposed to be for Carrie? I'm pretty positive I read that Che was supposed to be for Carrie. They were toying around with the idea of having Carrie be the one.
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah. It wouldn't have worked.
Absolutely not.
It would not have worked. But I think that's a very funny fact.
Funny fact, but absolutely not.
I don't think it would have worked with any other character. Because I think everyone is too happy in their marriages, and Steve and Miranda were always kind of a couple out of necessity, unfortunately. Like, they had... I know. We love Steve here. We are big Steve Brady fans. But I think, like, Miranda, she had dumped Steve, and then he got the cancer diagnosis and had to get one of his balls removed. Do you not remember that? And so then she slept with him out of pity, and Brady was conceived. And then, they were co-parenting, and they just kind of, like, were like, you know what? We're co-parenting. Why not get together?
But...
They did always love each other still. Yeah. I don't think they loved each other in, like, the in-love way. I think he does. I don't think she ever did.
Well, I'll talk more about that later.
Yeah, I don't even know how we got there, but...
Yeah.
Just all keeps going back to Miranda.
I know. Because
This is the Miranda show.
She changed the most throughout the series, so there's a lot to talk about with her. Yeah, I think that's all we have to say about Nia, unless you have anything else to say. Okay.
Our other one is kind of in the same vein to me. Lisa Todd Wexley is another new friend who's introduced.
I really wanted to know more about her.
She's so cool.
So cool.
I will admit, I've said this to Lexie, I thought she was going to be a villain.
I thought so too.
Okay, so yeah. I think it's because Charlotte had such a, not jealousy, I guess, but she wanted to be her in a sense so badly. And because I think Lisa is perfect. It's so portrayed that she's perfect. And then you kind of see that crumble a little. But I think Charlotte only saw the perfect side, and so she wanted to be that. So then I'm like, okay, no, there's going to be something here. She's going to be a villain. But she's actually a really
she's really
sweet person, and I really like her.
Yeah, I just wish we saw more of her. We did see a lot of her in the beginning, and then throughout the season, once again, it faded. There's just, obviously, with Willie dying, may he rest in peace, I do feel like they had to rewrite a lot of the show. So, I don't want to hold, that much accountable for that reason. I do feel like if he hadn't have passed away, it would have been a bit of a different show. Yes. So obviously we can't blame the writers. They have to work around this horrific, traumatizing, emotional thing. So you can't blame them, but it definitely does, leave a bit to be desired. Yeah. Makes you wonder just how different it would have been. I know. But I don't want to think about that. I don't want to. I probably would have really liked it. I know. But yeah, so Lisa Todd Wexley is she just a mom on the PTA? Yeah. And I think her husband's running for mayor. Right. And her husband's he's not a dick, but I think his just mind is very occupied of becoming mayor. I also think he's kind of cocky. Yes. I still love you, Christopher Jackson. I'm sorry. So cute. I'm sorry. All the men in this are fine. Very cute. I can't tell you one who I wouldn't, Yeah. Honestly. I'm sorry. I have a major crush on Mr. Steve Brady, and also I would marry Harry in a second. Just the men deserve more credit on this show. Just give us a men episode. Men in the City. Stop. Honestly, I mean, I say that with Desperate Housewives too. I could literally just get an
Oh my
episode of the
gosh.
husbands.
Yeah. No.
Husbands make the show.
They
And the
do.
show, honestly.
They're always just kind of there to like bolster the women, but like they have their moments. 'Cause I don't
Yes.
think they get much of like a storyline to be
No.
super emotional or anything. So like they're kind of there for the comedic relief and the entertainment, and it's always great.
It is. It is.
But yeah, this guy, he wasn't really there for any kind of humor. He was kind of just there.
Yeah. And I feel like Lisa became more of a friend to Charlotte than Charlotte and then Carrie more into the season. But then they like
we'll talk about
that.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. They like introduce these new people, get you attached to them, and then don't do anything with it.
There was just a lot of like filler.
Yeah.
Throughout that we didn't really need, and I wish they used that time to build more relationships.
I think also like this timeline doesn't make any sense.
No, we
like
somehow,
at the end of the show, it's a year.
Yeah. Like, okay. There was like one episode where Carrie is like riding by her window and we like skipped 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Which like, if you're gonna go the big death storyline, commit to it.
Yeah.
Like, don't just skip ahead. I would have liked to see Carrie grieve more. I wanted to see her overcome that rather than just.
Like she grieved a lot.
Okay, I know, but like I feel like they gave you like a few episodes of it, and then they're just like, okay, it's half a year later. Here you go, jump back into dating kind of thing, which was fun and entertaining. But I would have liked to see it come more naturally. Then again, they only had 10 episodes to work with.
Yeah, and I feel like.
Also, like that being said, they had 40-minute episodes, so.
That's true. That is true.
This is not a show, I don't think Sex and the City ever needed 40-minute episodes. It was perfect as it is as a 20-minute show in the original run. I don't think it needed to be 40-minute episodes here.
If they did 40-minute episodes with better storylines, I think
that's why it feels like so much filler, is because they're basically filling in 20 minutes of storyline that they never had to do before.
Yeah.
That's not to say it's bad, but.
Yeah. But yeah, they just could have scrapped some stuff. I would have been okay with it. Yeah. For real.
There isn't really much to say about Lisa Todd Lexie besides she has a really cool nickname, LTW. Yeah. I think maybe that's also why I thought she was a villain, because that just kind of feels very villainous, like having a really sick nickname.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But if they do come back for season 2, I hope we get more of her.
Me too. For sure. And then our last new character that I can only think of these 4 as our new characters, really.
Yeah.
Ones that were like main is Seema.
Yeah.
I like her.
I liked her too.
I was really iffy about her.
Yes, because I was very nervous they were trying to make her the new Samantha.
I think a lot of people were.
And they did, but they weren't pushing it in your face. I think they weren't making her the 4th of the group.
Yeah, I think they did, but I think she is a Samantha in a way.
Yeah.
I don't think she's the new Samantha.
No, there will
she definitely
be
there's
one
only
Samantha.
One Samantha. Kim Cattrall, we love you, girl.
Yes.
You may not love them or the show, but we love you. You will.
And
always
everyone
be
knows you are the best character on that show. If you want your own spinoff, I will write it for you.
We will write it for you.
Yes.
That's great. But yeah, Seema. I think she had the aspects of Samantha. I think she had the perfect Samantha-esque traits to be Carrie's new friend. Mm-hmm. Because throughout the show, it's no secret Carrie is missing Samantha like crazy. Because out of the 3, Samantha was the one that she was closest to. She's been friends with her since she moved to New York, basically. Mm-hmm. So I think Seema coming in was like something that she definitely needed.
Yeah.
And it was good. I think like Seema was like took enough of the elements from Samantha, but was still able to be her own person.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked all the backstory stuff we got of her, and I would like to see more of her.
Backstory stuff.
Like, we just kind of got, like, how she's, like, never been lucky in love, and how her parents always want her to find somebody, and she just, like, won't, and then she finally meets somebody, and, like, I was kind of getting invested in them. The 3 days that they spent in a hotel, I'm like, oh, it's kind of cute.
It was.
We
also
don't.
liked how she was breaking her family's traditions as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's
The
important
Diwali
too.
episode was really fun. I really like that. I think she's a fun character, though. I think she's a really fun addition. I think Samantha would personally love her.
Really, I feel like they'd be in a cat fight at first.
Oh yeah, but I think eventually she would love her.
Yeah.
Like, I can just picture her being like, she's fucking fabulous.
Yes.
If you guys need a Samantha, I am a Samantha. I am available for hire. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about Seema, honestly.
No, I just think she was a great addition.
She was. I was nervous about her, like you said, because I thought they were going to try to push her too much, but...
And I feel like besides Che, she was the second most new character that got a lot of screen time.
Yeah. She kind of, like, came in, and I felt like she had been there for... Actually, I kind of feel like she wasn't there very long, but she was. Like, she was just kind of very prominent throughout. She was there for 6 episodes, I believe. She came in episode 4. I don't know if she stayed for every single one, but...
Something like that, I think.
I think she was always kind of, like, mentioned, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the new characters, though.
Yeah.
I think maybe we'll talk about the kids now.
Yeah.
There's not much to say about the kids, really, but I feel like it's kind of a natural moving on point. Because I think, in a way, the kids kind of feel like new characters to me. Because we never saw them really grown up. We saw Lily a bit. We saw Brady a bit in the movies.
But they were children then. There was not much for them to have storyline.
Yeah, but here they do.
Lily ruined Carrie's life.
It's so funny. I want to rewatch the movie so bad.
It's funny that she ruined her life twice, but it's fine.
Stop.
So we can start with Lily then.
I love Lily.
She's so funny.
I really like her. I liked her in the movies. I love her in this as well. I really like her relationship with Carrie, even though she ruined her life twice.
Yes.
I really like her relationship. Like, when they were having, like, a little sleepover together after her fight with Charlotte, and how she was helping her clean up the closet. Like, I think she's a fun character. And
the fun, cool aunt to Lily.
Yeah, and I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And I think, because isn't Carrie her godmother? She's Rock's for sure. I don't know if that was ever specified or not. I know she's Rock's, though, because they ask her in the movie. Either way, they have a super cute relationship, though.
They do.
And I wish we had saw a little bit more of it, but I think from what we did see, it was very sweet. Because I don't think Lily, like, needed to be a big part of the show.
No.
But I do hope if we get a season 2 that we do see more of her. Also, the whole tampon storyline was so freaking funny.
Yeah.
That killed me.
I like to see her date.
Yeah. I want to see Charlotte handle her dating.
I mean, we saw how she handled the Instagram photo.
Yeah.
And she was not a fan of that.
No. Yeah, I don't think there was much to say about Lily. I like her.
Yeah.
I think she's fun. I think she was also kind of, like, very helpful in teaching Charlotte, more progressive ways. Like, she kind of called out Charlotte off. She's like, that's racist. With, like, the nesting dolls or whatever.
Yeah, I don't have the multicultural collection, but I actually have those dolls in my room. Yeah. She's like, Mom, they're cultural appropriation. They're not even made in China. They're made in New York.
Yeah. I like her a lot.
So do I.
Brady.
Brady's a little hoe.
Brady's something.
Yeah.
I guess Louisa is kind of a new character, but I don't care enough about her.
No.
She was just kind of there to show Miranda's weird rules in her house. I never would have pictured Miranda letting Brady so freely, like, have sex in the house. So loudly, too. Yeah.
I feel like just Brady and Louisa were just a storyline for Miranda to realize that she is unhappy.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Yeah. I wish we had saw more of Brady and Miranda's relationship, though, because I think they had I think he had a sweet bond with both her and Steve in the movie. And I guess he is a teenager now, and you're not super, like, close to your parents as a teenager. Like, you kind of hate everybody. But I would have liked to see it still. There's a lot of things I would have liked to see.
And once again, if they didn't do filler shit in their episodes, I'm sure we could have gotten it.
And then the last child, who we already kind of talked about, is Rock. I love them and Harry's relationship. I think it's super sweet. I love Harry, though. Yeah. Harry's adorable. But I think they have a really great relationship, and that he's, like, learning how to, like, skateboard with them.
That was so funny.
And, like, the second that they were like, I'm Rock, and he's like, who's Rock? Charlotte's like, oh, that's Rose's now. And he's like, huh? Yeah. And then he accepted it so quick, though. Like, he's just like, okay, Rock. Got it. Rose, don't know them. Don't know them. Never existed. For real. And I kind of love that. I think I didn't ever expect anything less from him. But I think it was really just, like, sweet how accepting he was immediately. Because I think that's definitely important. Yeah. And I also think that was something that, like, could very easily not be taken well. And I think it's really easy to write characters not take that well, unfortunately. Yeah. And especially being married to Charlotte. True. But yeah, I like that whole journey, and I think we'll kind of talk a bit more about that when we talk about Charlotte. Yes. But I like Rock, too. I think I always anticipated something was going to be there with Rock. I
noticed it when Rock refused to wear the dress to Lily's recital. Yeah. And I was like, oh.
Like, there's going to be
Things are going to change. Things are going to change.
And I think even, like, just in pictures that we saw before, I'm just like, there's going to be something here, and it's going to be something big about, like, Charlotte's going to have a big reaction. Yeah. And that's going to be a big, like, plot line for her. And it was.
It was.
And it was interesting. But we'll get there. Because I think a lot of people had a change of heart with Charlotte that nobody saw coming. I mean, Charlotte became an unsung hero. Let's just be real.
I don't think Charlotte was ever hated. I thought she was just a lot.
I think she was always the least favorite of the group, though. Well, depends who you ask.
Still is.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just talk about the main characters now. I think everybody's kind of been waiting for it, probably. Yeah. But Carrie. Miss Bradshaw. I have the biggest love-hate relationship with her.
Oh my god, I think everyone does. Especially
like, when she was having, like, that sleepover with Lily, I'm like, this is adorable. Like, I want Aunt Carrie. Like, this is so sweet. And she has all these moments where I'm just like, I really like her. And then she'll go do something and I'll just be like, I want to punch you. Yes. Like, she's so infuriating at times.
She is.
And also something that a lot of people have pointed out, in the very last episode when they're asking who her worst breakup is, why didn't she say Burger? Like, that is the worst breakup. Do you not remember Burger? No. Burger is the one who broke up with her on a Post-it note. They were, like, in a relationship. It was really awkward. He was, like, her worst boyfriend. And they were, like, they had, like, really, like, awkward, quiet sex. And, like, it was just an awkward relationship. And then one day, like, she just had a sticky note from him that said, I'm sorry, don't hate me. And that was how he dumped her.
I vaguely remember the Post-it note. I don't remember the whole relationship, though. Yeah. I think I just remember the main relationships, which were Big Aiden and Alexander Petrovsky.
Yeah, I think Burger was before Alexander.
Alexander was the very last relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was arguably her worst breakup. But, of course, she says Big died. But, okay, they didn't technically break up.
No, you're technically, I mean,
she's I feel just like this a widow now.
Yeah, I feel like arguably, I mean, if God forbid, I ever got married and my husband passes away, I feel like I'm still always going to be married to him. Will I still date? Maybe, depending on what stage of my life I'm at. But, like, he will always be my husband. Yeah. And not just like, oh, we're not together anymore.
And she's like, death is the ultimate breakup. I'm like, no, it's not. No. It isn't unless you broke up with him right before he died.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people have said that they're like, why didn't you say burger? Because, like, that's an actual breakup, and it's a horrible way to break up with somebody.
Yeah.
That was kind of like breaking up with people over text before.
Yeah.
Texting was a thing.
For real.
But yeah. Also, she's a podcaster now. I got so emotional when she's like, I'm Carrie Bradshaw, and this is Sex and the City. I could cry right now. It felt so nostalgic.
I started crying.
Yeah, I really like her being a podcaster.
So do I. It just feels very modern and just still kind of sticking to her roots.
I think like who's really reading the newspaper for her column thing when podcasts are way more accessible, I guess.
Yeah.
Like almost everyone has a phone or a computer. So it's definitely a thing. And I think she's already like kind of a household name.
True.
In New York, so.
The one thing that I wish we saw a little bit more, and I felt like this was going to be her main storyline, was just like her dating in this day and age.
Yeah.
Just especially with like Tinder and Bumble and like online dating and all that, and I felt like that's the main reason why they killed off Big.
And they didn't do it well enough.
No. I mean, Seema even like tried. I think she tried to.
Yeah, no, they did.
So, I mean, Carrie did go on, 2 dates? But it was with the same person. So, I didn't mind Carrie and the teacher. I felt like it was really cute, just the fact that he was also a widower as well.
Yeah.
And just...
I think they were kind of what each other needed as a first date.
Yes, and I wish we got that maybe a little bit earlier on. And what if we would have?
They already did the time jump, so I don't know why we didn't get it.
I know. So, and just like hearing like Carrie putting on the wedding ring, and he was like, "I still listen to her last voicemail." I was like, "Oh, this is actually really cute."
Yeah.
And I didn't hate them together. I just felt like they weren't ready to date.
No, I think they were cute together, but I don't think it was ever going to work out. I think they were just kind of like what each other needed to jump in.
Yeah.
Because I think they're the only people who would have understood
Absolutely
going to the date, and I think that's what they needed before they could truly open up their heart again.
Yeah.
So I like that. I think I want them to stay friends. Like I want them to catch up from time to time.
Yeah.
Will they? Probably not.
No.
But then we have Carrie and the podcast guy.
I like wanted
Lexie called this from the very beginning.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
It should have happened sooner.
It should have.
He's
and I thought it was
hot too.
So attractive. To be honest.
So attractive.
The teacher and him kind of look the same to me for some reason.
Right?
In some weird way.
No, I get it.
But I mean, I wish
I don't know much about them yet. Obviously, it was literally like one of the last shots, but they were super cute. I think they're gonna be.
No, I think they were really cute together, and she saw him every day, or at least once a week, whenever they recorded their podcast. Yeah. So like she knows him, and I feel like that's also really important for her to start dating again, is someone that she knows and feels comfortable with.
And also the fact that he already knows like her history, so he knows like this isn't gonna be something she can jump into head first real quick.
Yeah. I couldn't tell if that kiss was spontaneous or not, or if they were maybe already dating. Like I
think it was spontaneous.
Was there like well, they had to be a little bit of a jump. Oh, that's what he said. He said that
she'd be a good podcaster.
And I think Che said that as well. And he was like, yeah, no, like, have your own podcast.
Okay, yeah, no, that's what it was. I do kind of want to... we'll talk about our thoughts on season 2. I'm not really for it entirely, but it's things like this that make me kind of want one. Because I would love to see what they do with them in season 2.
Yes. Yeah. And like I said, I just wish we saw Carrie date more, and we didn't really get that. It was more about her grieving, which I completely understand and I get it, and like that should have been the main focus, but Just
Yeah.
dating now.
I think it would have been better if, like, we saw the grieving and then we saw her just naturally progress into it.
Yeah.
I feel like it didn't feel very natural to me.
No.
But, I mean, again, filler.
Yes.
If they had it done, they could have done a 20-episode season with 20-minute episodes.
They really could have. But was that even the first, like, the original? They weren't 20 long seasons. They were short. 20 long episode seasons.
One of them is short. I think season 4 is shorter.
Okay.
Like 13 episodes, but I think the rest are like 20. Maybe season 1 is a little bit short too, because I think usually season 1s are kind of short.
Yeah.
Do you want to move on to Charlotte?
Yeah, we can move on to Charlotte.
So as I was saying earlier, okay, Charlotte was never the favorite of a lot of people. I always liked her. I think it was either like Carrie or Charlotte were kind of like your bottom, depending on who you asked. But a lot of times Charlotte was
Miranda was a bottom too.
Okay, yeah. But like I think people have grown on Miranda. But I feel like Charlotte was just like one everybody was just like, okay, come on, like girl.
Yeah.
Like you're just too much. You're too prudish. You don't fit in.
No.
But I found a lot of people love her in this.
Yeah.
And I think it's because she's kind of come into her own a bit more. And I mean, she's so funny in this. I think she's always been funny, but she's so funny here. And I think, because she always was so, like, narrow-minded, only saw things as they're supposed to, like, classically be, that, like, seeing her, you know, with Rock and all that, I think that was, like, something that really warmed her up to a lot of people, and I think that's kind of what she needed, because she always did kind of feel cold in that sense.
Yeah.
I think Miranda always felt cold, too, but I think Charlotte also kind of had that, just, like, you couldn't really relate to her, but you also didn't not relate to her, so she was just kind of like a funny character.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people have come around to her in this, which I like.
She was definitely a lot funnier.
So funny. I love her. But she also doesn't feel like she's part of the friend group that much. No. Like, everyone feels like they hate her.
Especially because with the time jumps, they, like, didn't tell her for, like, 3 months about Miranda and Shay.
Yeah.
Like, 3 months.
Yeah.
How do you keep a secret for that long?
I can't keep a secret from you at all. I have to, like,
I know.
I tell you what I have for lunch in a day. I'm just like, Lex, I just had the worst, like, sandwich ever. Like, how do you keep anything? So, and, like, I'm just, like, thinking back to, like, all the things that have happened in the original series and how quick she was to go tell everybody and how quick they were to tell her things. And, like when when Samantha slept with a woman for the first time, that's Samantha, granted, but, like, I don't know, I think that was just always something, they always told each other everything, no judgment, and I think Charlotte
there was judgment.
Oh, there was judgment, but, like, I think there would have been a lot less judgment here if she had have known sooner.
I feel like it could have gone either way. I
think there still would have been judgment, but I think having the bombshell dropped on her that Miranda was having an affair with Che, who is Carrie's boss, and also just, like, not knowing for 3 months, I think all of that just kind of, like, added and kind of made Charlotte's head feel like it was going to explode. Yeah. And honestly, I don't really blame her for her reaction. No. She had the most level-headed reaction, I think, of them all. Because Carrie was just mad that she had to pee in a Snapple bottle.
Carrie being mad at that was, like, so annoying.
Because I'm just like, girl, Carrie. You had an affair. You cheated on Aiden, the best man in the entire world. Yeah. So...
Have they all had affairs?
Not Charlotte.
Really?
No.
She probably didn't, but I feel like there's times where she definitely could have had an affair.
Oh, she could have, but she was always, like, the one who, like, wanted true love.
True.
I think the only way I could have seen her having an affair was on Trey.
Yes, that's what I was trying to think.
Yeah, I don't think she ever did, though. I could be wrong, but I don't think she ever did.
I don't think she did either.
But yeah, I think her reaction made sense.
Yes.
But I think it made them push her away more than they already were.
Even just, like, when Big died and they, like, it was Miranda and Stanford there and they didn't even invite Charlotte, which, like, Charlotte's emotional. And I think that's why people don't like her, because I can't deal with emotional people.
No, me either.
So, and I get, like, Big dying is something emotional, and, like, that's just, like, a lot to take on. Like, Carrie's obviously emotional, so why add on someone that's going to be more emotional than you are?
Yeah, but I think...
But, like, that's just your friend, and, like...
Charlotte wanted to be there. Like, she knew this was going to be a hard thing for Carrie, and I think... I can see where Carrie's coming from, because, like you said, we both are not good at emotion.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think about it, like, I'm trying to put myself there, I think I wouldn't mind having Charlotte there. Like, I kind of would want her there to have, like, my friends close to me.
Like, that's not, like, something you do, like, to someone you call your best friend.
Yeah. If it was just, like, if it was Seema, I get it.
Oh, yeah.
If it was, like, any other character, I get it. But if it's either Charlotte, Miranda, or Samantha, or Stanford, even Anthony, I could see her doing that to him. But this just isn't something you do to someone you've been friends with for over 20 years.
Yeah.
30? Nearly 30? They've been friends before the original series, so...
Yeah, probably like 30.
So about 30.
That's crazy.
So, I don't know. I feel like they definitely, like, let her back in towards the end of the show, but I think it was very a Miranda and Carrie show.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is unfortunate, but... And also, like, Carrie and Miranda didn't even, like, get along half the time.
No.
I think Carrie's just a hard person to get along with, to be honest.
Very true. Yeah, I'm trying to think that if there was a lot of Carrie Miranda scenes. Was there Miranda and Charlotte? Remember I told you when Kristen Davis was on the Drew Barrymore show? And she was going to have, like, this big emotional, like, falling out with someone?
Yeah!
Where was that? Did we miss that? The only thing I could think of is when
Miranda tells her about the affair.
Yeah. But, like, that wasn't, like...
That wasn't a fallout.
Yeah.
Maybe it was.
I really didn't think it was. Like, they were really hyping it up. Like, I thought
that's kind of also why I thought maybe Lisa Todd Wexley was a villain. I thought maybe she's going to have a fallout with her.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That's going to bother me now. Because, yeah, we don't really see much. And I think, like, the fight that she does have with them is something that we always saw with Charlotte.
Yes.
Like, it's the same kind of fight that she had with Carrie when Carrie wanted her to pay for half of her apartment.
Yeah.
So, like, that is something that they can get past pretty easily. And I don't think Miranda can really be mad at her.
No.
Because, like, I think anybody would kind of have that reaction, like, you just cheated on your husband.
Yeah.
With your best friend's boss.
And
in her kitchen.
That, and the fact that her whole entire plot line in the first movie is the fact that Steve cheated on her and she's trying to forgive him for that. And
yeah.
There's few plot holes in this.
Very much plot holes. It's like they just cut the movies in general.
Yeah. But then I thought that the Carrie and Miranda in the finale fallout was, like, very big and emotional.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, maybe she wasn't talking about herself. Maybe she was talking about Cynthia and Sarah. And I don't know. I thought about that the other day.
What do you think about that fallout between Carrie and Miranda?
They have a lot of fallouts. Like,
I think that one was coming for a while.
Yeah.
Also, I like that. I love the scene where Carrie goes and spreads Big's ashes, but I do wish the girls had went with her.
Yeah, I was a little annoyed. They didn't.
I get why she told them to stay, but I'm just like, I think this is a moment, again, where you kind of want your friends. Maybe not there in the moment, but I think...
Supportive.
Can we get a number 3 movie where they all go to Paris?
I've been waiting for the third, but Miss Kim Cattrall has ruined some things, rightfully so, but
We still love you, Kim.
I love you, Kim. I'm not throwing
I'm on
any
your
shade
side.
at you.
On your side.
But
yeah, I think that's kind of all we have to say really about Charlotte.
Oh, we were talking about Charlotte, right?
We were talking about Charlotte.
Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about Charlotte. I felt like she was just kind of like a little left out of the series in some sense, even though she was a big part, but she was a big part in the family aspect, not so much in the friend aspect.
I think there was just so much they could have done differently.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'm very like picky with reboots though. I don't like when my favorite shows are rebooted.
If you reboot it and make it as close to the original as possible and follow the character traits and everything like the original and where everyone expects them to come pick up after 20 years, then you can do it. But if you're going to change like this much of it and try to like, don't get me wrong, people change. Like, I'm not the same person I was like last year, but for the most part, like, I am.
Yeah.
Like, you don't completely change like like that.
And granted, it's been like however many years since the movie, but they don't even feel like themselves like they were in the movie.
But I just also remembered, well, we're talking about Miranda in a second, her alcohol problem. I mean, she kind of quit cold, but like never mentioned again.
That's not something you can quit super cold.
Yeah.
Man.
I think that's when they skipped 3 months and that she was like cured of alcoholism.
I do think, I think with reboots, if you're gonna have the same cast, you gotta keep it the same. If you're gonna do a new cast, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
Because I think if you're having a new cast, you're already making a new kind of movie.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta work extra hard to do something new, which is what the new Charmed did. I haven't seen the new Charmed, granted, but I'm a big fan of the original, and they've done things very different.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a reboot.
Yeah.
With the original characters, and it doesn't feel like a reboot. It feels like a new kind of show. In a sense. It has its moments.
Yeah.
It definitely has a lot of moments that get you with the nostalgia. Like when Carrie's walking down the stairs and she's wearing the Carrie necklace. Like,
the music gets me every freaking time.
Yeah. Going back to like her old apartment. Like there's just a lot of things. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of plot holes and a lot of mischaracterizations.
Yeah. I just thought about the Paris dress.
Yeah.
So like you can remember little things like that, but you can't remember what your characters were like in the original series. Like, come on, man.
In a movie that was made like what, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
What, the second one came out in like 2012 or something like that?
Yeah. Something like that.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right, let's talk about Miranda, because we have a lot to say about Miranda.
This is the one I have the most to say about, and we've probably touched on a lot of it by now.
Yeah. Supposed to be more cohesive.
We talked about this when we first reviewed this series, where just Miranda becoming a lesbian, it doesn't seem completely out of left field, but on the other hand, it does seem completely out of left field. I think it doesn't
seem completely out of left field because Cynthia is a lesbian.
Yes. And I guess if it was going to happen to any character, I guess it would have been Miranda, because like we said, her and Steve kind of, like, I think they loved each other. I mean, when she said that she'd never been happy, I was like, bitch, what?
I think they loved each other. I don't think they were in love with each other.
Yeah. Like friends.
Yeah.
Like heart partners.
Yeah.
Co-parents.
Yeah. I think the most in love we've ever seen them is in the movie after they get back together, and that was kind of like a honeymoon phase.
It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
But the sex scene, that's all I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I love you, Miranda, but I didn't hate her becoming a lesbian, but I just hate how it played out. Because I just didn't mind Che in the beginning. I thought it was fun. I thought it was hot. I thought it was, like,
Yeah.
her, but then it got like she became whipped. She simped. And like Miranda, you
Miranda's
are a
not a
boss-ass
simp.
bitch. Why are you simping?
I mischaracterized her. That's
Yeah.
not Miranda.
No, it's not.
And like you said, people change, but that has never once been Miranda.
No. So just to see her like simp over Che and like
And
go
also,
over
like,
there
with the whole thing, like you said, with Steve and the affair, or like him cheating, and then she goes and does the exact same thing. I'm also kind of mad we didn't see Brady's reaction to it.
Did they ever tell Brady?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think they did, because I think she was nervous to see her at the Che's like LGBTQ thing, and I don't think he ever found out.
Well,
but like he does know, because like at the end when she was leaving for LA and he was leaving to go backpack around Europe,
but
he said something.
But I think she said she was just going for like a friend's
thing.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. Like I already touched on that, I think, and everyone else, I really thought that Naya and Miranda were gonna get together, especially from the promo. And the fact that they confirmed it in an article.
Also, like, when they introduced Che, like, they just introduced them as Carrie's boss. Like, that was just the character introduction.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Naya got, like, Miranda's teacher, soon-to-be friend, mentor thing. And, like, I think they wanted you to think it was going to be Naya and then throw you the curveball at Che.
It's like a Ted, Rebecca, Sam situation where they really threw me for a curveball.
Are you saying, well, would that make...
You thought it was Ted as well.
No, would that make Che the Sam or the Ted? I guess the Ted. No, that would make Sam the Che.
I'm sorry.
That's just mean.
I'm sorry.
But
you know,
watch our Ted Lasso episode if you missed it.
For real.
But yeah.
That was a good analogy, though.
It was a very good analogy. I don't know. I think they could have done it in a lot better of a way.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like I know they set it up that Miranda and Steve just like weren't happy, but like it just feels very unrealistic to me.
No, I still think about
like
the line that
Miranda says that like they haven't even had sex in years.
Oh, it was months, but it could be years.
Maybe months. I feel like it was years. I think she said they literally just like will watch TV together and eat takeout.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Which like, yeah, maybe that is married life, but like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like them.
No.
And also just like, Steve not caring is not him either.
But I feel like he did care.
No, but like I think like he was content with where they were. But I also feel like in the original series, like he tried so much to show Miranda that he loved her. Whereas in this, he was just kind of like there. But maybe that is just like the product of a marriage that's been on for so long. That he feels like he doesn't need to because they're happy and he always thought they were happy.
But that line about wearing the wedding ring, where he's like,
never gonna take it off.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, just stab me right in the heart, why don't you?
And Steve is the best, most pure character.
No, he is. I love him.
He's right up there with Aiden. Aiden, Harry, and Steve, best men in the show. Honorable mention to Smith.
Yes.
I love that man, and when he shaves his head for Samantha, I sobbed like a little baby.
It was so good. That scene was good.
The men in this show, man. Yeah. Minus Big. I don't like Big. I liked him in this. That lasted an episode.
But even just like more random going to LA felt very out of character too. Yeah. And just leaving her, like, she fought so hard for that internship, even though we didn't see her fight for it.
And then she just like
dropped it. I was like, oh, okay. So we're really choosing love over your career right now when I wanted you to be the boss ass bitch?
All I can say is it just isn't Miranda. Like, I've said this so many times. Yeah. It just isn't Miranda. It doesn't feel like her. I don't know.
She's a completely different person, which,
Yeah.
like I said, is
people
like, it
change,
happens, but not that drastically.
She just changed a lot.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel like the Miranda that we've known for
No.
like 30 years.
It's not the Miranda that I hated and then came to terms that I realized I am her, because now I am no longer am Miranda.
No, you're not a Miranda anymore.
No.
Who does that make you now? I'm still a
idea.
Charlotte. I think I'm still a Charlotte. I'm always going to be a Charlotte.
I don't want to say I'm a Carrie. I'm definitely not a Samantha, even though I'd love to be a Samantha.
I want to be. I'm a Charlotte who wants to be a Samantha. I always say I'm a Charlotte with a Carrie rising.
Yeah.
No, a Carrie moon. One of the two.
Basically. I don't know who I am. Can we add the new characters into this too? Who would I be?
Maybe it'd be Naya.
Honestly, I could be Naya.
You could be a Naya. She's kind of a badass bitch.
Yeah. I'm not really
You
sure.
also got a little bit of Seema in you. Tells it how it is.
I was gonna say LTW.
Ooh, yeah. I could see that. Yeah, no, you're an LTW. With a little... You're an LTW with a Naya rising.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I could go with that. I can deal with that.
But... Yeah. I don't know. She's just not not my Miranda. Hashtag not my Miranda. I would have actually really liked to see Miranda go into politics.
That would have been very interesting.
I think, like, again, because, like, Cynthia, but...
Yeah, since Cynthia tried to run for governor.
Yeah. I think that would have also been, like, a really natural kind of step for her, too. She likes being in control of things.
Yes.
So I think that would have been fun for her.
And that's also just not what she is now. She's not in control of her relationship.
No.
And I feel like that's partially killing her, like, when she did bring Che cookies.
Oh.
And she was trying to be, like, cute and romantic.
And spontaneous.
Yeah.
And then Che was just kind of, like, an asshole. And I get it. Like, they were busy, but... I don't know. Like, I think you could have just been...
Asshole-y.
Yeah. Like, they just took it a little too far.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could have just mellowed out a little bit, been like, oh, thank you, I'm sorry, but I can't see you right now, but, like, thank you so much, like, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Shay's just very intense.
Very
And Miranda's intense, too, don't get me wrong, but I think
Rambo.
Rambo, that was so funny. Speaking of Miranda, sorry, I'm going off topic. My favorite line in the entire show is when she catches Brady smoking pot at Big's funeral, and he's like, I just wanted to try it. I'm sad. And she's like, okay, maybe I should kill myself then. You can try heroin.
It was so bad. It's so funny.
So funny. That's the Miranda I love.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to what I was saying. Miranda's definitely intense, but I think Che is intense in a way that's not endearing.
Yes.
I think Che has kind of like mean vibes.
No, absolutely.
I think like they're the kind of person who could like kind of fly off the handle, which isn't good. Do we have anything else that we want to say about her?
No, I think I really touched on her in the beginning, but go on.
Miranda went back to red.
Oh, the most iconic thing ever.
When she came out, I don't want to say she looked old. I don't want to say that. I don't want that to come off as though I'm saying that. But someone did a side-by-side of her with the silver and her with the red, and was like, oh, she went back to red. And I'm just like, she looks like she time traveled. Like I think her hair just looks exactly styled the way it did in the movies.
It did.
So I'm just like, oh my god, like it looks like we're seeing it.
It was wavy.
I think it was also the makeup too.
Probably. But she wore, with the silver hair, she was very straight. But I think with the red, it was wavy and, like, definitely styled better.
So it definitely, like, I think it just reminded me of, like, the movies. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you look like you just popped out of, like, the 2010s.
Yes, I got emotional over the red.
Oh, I wasn't expecting her to go back to red either.
No, especially because she was very, like,
yeah, like,
I'm going back.
Yeah, so then when she just walked out, I'm just like, okay, I'm
but
emotional.
I guess, once again, I think that's just her being whipped and simping, and I'm like, what, honey, don't change. You were good the way you are.
No, but am I mad about it?
No.
It was cute.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is making me become a Che anti. Maybe I don't love them as much as I thought I did. I didn't love them. I liked them a lot.
Like I said, I liked them in the beginning a little bit more. And then when I really found out that her and Naya were supposed to be together, I'm like, all right, Shay and Miranda are out the door. Give me Naya and Miranda. There were some characters I think we said, I don't remember if we said in the first episode, but maybe just to each other, like what we would like to see. And I was really waiting for Aiden to make a reappearance. And then...
Yeah, I am still holding out hope that I get a Carrie and Aiden endgame.
Just like...
But then again, Carrie doesn't deserve Aiden.
No, she does not. Just like, once again, like, stumble upon on the street. Aiden could be happy with family. Well, he is happy with family.
Yeah.
But we can actually see said family now. And then another character that I really want to see was J-Hud.
J-Hud!
I think her.
She's exactly what Carrie needs right now.
Yes.
Bring me J-Hud.
I would have liked her. What's her name?
Louise from St. Louis.
Yes.
What else? I had a few other things I feel like. That Anthony is kind of more Carrie's person rather than Charlotte's person.
But that can go back to...
Again, yeah, with Stanford no longer being able to be a part of the show.
You can go on. No.
The older lady from Big's funeral never made another reappearance, and I wasn't done with her.
Well, you said the older lady, and then the woman that came back who apologized to Carrie. My mom has a fantastic memory. My mom...
Oh, no, I remember you telling me this.
Who she was. And, I read that she was supposed to come back in episode 6. I don't remember now what episode 6 was about. But she was supposed to, like, reveal something about Big. And I think they kind of teased that with Natasha. Like, in the episode, like, maybe,
I think we all kind of expected it to have, like, for Big to have a love child with Natasha.
Yeah.
6 was the Diwali episode. Carrie's giant leap for her future self helps her embrace the past, while a confession from Miranda shocks Charlotte. Also, Anthony asks Carrie for a favor.
Maybe it wasn't that episode, but I think it was some episode down the line where they were supposed to get lunch or something.
I'm sorry, I'm just reading a quote. It was a finger. Oh, what? A finger made you feel alive? Everything about them made me feel alive. Them? There are others? You're having a midlife crisis. You should have just dyed your hair. You are not progressive enough for this.
Charlotte's comments about Miranda dyeing her hair were great this
so
season.
Funny. Charlotte was not having silver haired Miranda.
No.
Oh, this is also the episode where Anthony asks Carrie to go to the plastic surgeon with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't remember what episode it was, but yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. I feel like the big stuff was dropped so quickly.
It was. I'm trying to even remember now what was the mystery behind it.
I don't remember.
And we never...
he left some money to Natasha or something like that, and she turned it down. She didn't want anything to do with him, which I don't blame her.
Yeah.
He kind of treated her like shit. He treated like Carrie like shit too, but someone pointed that out at the funeral.
But yeah, we never really found out who the old lady was. I think
she was Big's secretary.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think we touched on just about everything else. Did we talk about them writing out Samantha?
Oh, no, we didn't.
Okay, so why don't we talk about that real quick, because I think we do have some thoughts. I think we touched on it a little bit, and we also touched on it in the original episode that we did.
Yeah, so, I mean, at least I thought Samantha sending the flowers at the funeral, I thought that was going to be the end of Samantha and their closure.
Me too. I liked that.
So, to see them still kind of carry it out, I was happy about. But just them teasing with it and, like, knowing that Kim is never coming back and, like,
I don't think you could even pay her enough for her to come back.
Well, with the articles that came out, Sarah was like, I don't want her back. And she wasn't even asked to come back. Granted, like, they all would have known her answer. But just, like, it's like when you go out with friends, like you might have plans, but, like you want to be asked. Like I feel like it's common courtesy to ask. But
I didn't. Yeah, it felt like a tease.
Yeah.
Because you knew we were never gonna get her, and I also like. I get why they did it. Like have her be like, oh, soon, or no, can't talk now, or would just like leave Carrie on red. But I feel like it also kind of like felt like almost like more digs at Kim. And I'm just like, it's not that big of a deal that she didn't want to come back. She didn't have a good time on the show.
No.
She doesn't have a good relationship with them. Unfortunately, that's just how it can be in showbiz. Stop trying to make her the villain.
Yeah, no, Kim, we know
like,
you're not the villain.
We don't know like the entire story. Like we'll never know what story is true. If Sarah's side is right, Kim's side is right. Just let it be.
Yeah.
Like, just, I don't think there was any need to really trash Samantha in the beginning the way they did.
No.
And I don't think they needed to tease her as much as they did in the end. I feel like they kind of used it because people got so excited for it.
Yeah.
And admittedly, I did too. I cried.
Oh,
when Samantha said that she was going to meet Carrie for a drink, I sobbed.
Yeah.
Like, oh my friends are going back.
Now, if they come back for season 2, I don't think they should mention Samantha again. No. I think it was maybe like touch on it, like, oh, I met Samantha for drinks, like, we're good, like, that's it.
I think they could, and I think they could keep up Carrie and Samantha having a relationship in the background that doesn't need to be on screen.
Yeah.
But I don't think the others need to have a relationship with her.
No.
Because I think at the end of the day, Samantha's Carrie's friend.
Yeah.
And was the only reason she kind of stuck around.
Yes, absolutely.
But I do hope that they do mention they smooth things over.
Yeah.
Because I do not like how they wrote her out. She should have just moved to London.
Yeah.
I'm still standing by the fact she should have moved to LA with Smith and still been his publicist.
Very true. I mean, better than also her dying, so.
True.
Do you want to briefly touch on if you think they're getting a season 2 /
Right, we did forget to talk about that. I think they're going to
get a season 2. In the beginning, like throughout the series, I was a little iffy if I wanted a season 2. But like if this just ended how it is now, it's fine. Like I felt like they closed off enough.
That's why,
like content. Yeah. But they also left like enough for me to want a little bit more. And I don't think it's going to get canceled just because it's an HBO Max original, and there aren't that many HBO Max originals.
And I think it got enough views that they can warrant another season.
Yes.
They may not have gotten the greatest feedback.
No. Will they get a third season? That's talk about later. But I know, like, obviously with streaming services, it's a little bit different than stuff on live television. But I mean, Sex and the City was such a big hit back in the day, and it's like one of the shows that really kind of made HBO.
And I think it's also coming back, really. Like I feel like a lot of like younger generations now are experiencing and exploring it. Like I'm admittedly a part of the younger generation, and I just watched it for the first time in full 2 years ago now. Is that how long we've been in COVID?
Damn, that's actually crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, I think so I tweeted about this when I finished the show that I don't necessarily want a second season. I think it wrapped up perfectly. I don't think it needs another season. I don't necessarily want one because I don't want them to ruin anything that they did. But I think like Miranda going off to LA made sense for the characters that they had come up with this season. Charlotte being bar mitzvahed and like I think
I forgot that happened.
I know. But I think like that was kind of her finally like her last step of accepting truly who Rock is and coming to terms with that, which is a big step for her and her character. And then so I think that kind of like closed her book, and then Carrie kissing the podcast guy felt like her moving on and being like, Big will always be like the love of my life, but it's time, like he'd want me to move on.
Yeah.
So I feel like everybody tied up nicely. But like you said, there are things that I do want touched on.
The main thing I just want is Miranda's storyline touched on, because I really just hated that she moved to LA for Che.
Yeah.
And I'm
So
just
I think they'll get another one. I don't think they need one. Like, it isn't a show
Yeah.
where if they didn't get a second season, like with Twin Peaks season 2, like you wanted a third season of that, because you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Because they didn't tie it up.
No.
But like this, they tied it up enough that if they don't get another one, it's fine. But I think they will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't.
And I wouldn't be mad.
It.
What?
I'm surprised they haven't announced it yet.
Yeah. I mean, it's only been out now it'll be a week on Thursday.
I know, but like I feel like a lot of shows like get renewed during their run.
Maybe they need to see the final thing. I think they said until we meet again. Like Sarah said it on Instagram, so I'm assuming that means they're probably thinking of another one.
Probably.
She's also executive producer or something, right?
I think they're all executive producers.
Yeah, so I think they'd push for another one.
Yeah.
I want to go back in time to the buzz that we had when we found out they were getting this.
I want to go back to the day where I saw the trailer and I literally had a heart attack.
That was a moment. That was so good. And I mean, it lived up, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I was very pessimistic in the beginning, like before it even aired. Then I became slightly optimistic when the trailer came out. Then I became a little bit more optimistic during the first episodes. And then I was like, shouldn't have gotten my hopes up that much.
Yeah, I definitely think, like, if you look back on our first episode, like, when the first 2 episodes came out, and you look back at this one here.
Yeah.
You just kind of see our
changes.
Yeah. And that isn't saying we don't like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Like, I can confidently say I liked it. I would rewatch it. Do I think it's the next chapter in the Sex and the City franchise like it says? No. Do I think it's like an alternate universe kind of? Yeah. But it was nice to have these characters back, because they do bring me a lot of comfort.
Do you
and
think all the
I never would have expected it.
No.
I think that is partly to do with, Kim and her comments on this show and everybody's. So I never expected it, but I'm happy that we got it.
Yeah. Do you think all the characters are going to come back for a second season? Just mainly the new ones, because I don't think Che's coming back.
No, I think they would.
I think everyone else except Che.
Really? I think Che would come back.
I don't think Che's going to be in it, because I think they're going to be in LA.
Also, just one more thing. The fact that they got Sarah Ramirez to sing, I'd like to say thank you. They sing at the wedding? No. When Miranda's meeting the parents.
Yes.
And Che, like, comes up with, like, a whole song about leaving to go to LA.
Oh my god, my mom was singing the song. I was like, god damn it.
But yeah, that's actually Sarah Ramirez singing, and I think they're great. They sang in Grey's Anatomy. They made a whole musical episode just because they could sing so well. It's so good. Yeah, I think that's all we have to say.
Yeah.
I don't think we missed anything. I think we touched on just about everything.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think so. This episode will be coming out, I believe we're doing on Friday.
Yes.
And then we have a special double release this week. So this one's coming out on Friday the 11th.
Yes.
And then we have a special Valentine's Day episode coming out on the 14th. Yeah. With Macy again.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. And it gets kind of wild.
It does.
It gets kind of bizarre. But it's fun. So definitely stay tuned for those. And I think we're taking a break the week after.
Yeah. Apparently I have a life now.
Yeah, no, it's Super Bowl, it's Valentine's Day. It's just, there's a lot going on. So we're just going to take a little break. But then we have some really fun episodes planned coming up.
Yes.
Like, we have some ones that I'm really, really excited to film.
So am I. We're going to post, like, tweets and links to, like, Google Docs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we really need feedback for some of them.
Yeah, if you're watching this, please go to our Instagram or our Twitter.
Yes.
Enter Fangirls is Twitter. Enter The Fangirls is Instagram. We need your feedback because we have some interactive episodes coming up and we need you to help us.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for joining us on this episode of Enter the Fangirls. You can keep up with us on our social media. Our YouTube and Instagram are Enter the Fangirls, and our Twitter is Enter Fangirls.
Make sure you follow us wherever you listen to your podcast, and we cannot wait for you to join us on our next episode. Once again, I'm Lexie.
I'm Sam, and this has been Enter the Fangirls.